This book is fruit of over half a decade of my research. Roughly 5 years ago, I was a struggling entrepreneur. I was struggling with my company. Before that, I had been pioneering e-commerce in Europe back in the 90s with the first online shop for sporting goods in the German-speaking market. Over the years, it became a multi-million-dollar company, and it looked quite successful from the outside. But it definitely didn't feel successful from the inside. Does it sound familiar to any of you? I hit a glass ceiling at some point with the growth of my company, and I couldn't break through that glass ceiling, no matter how much effort, how much work I was putting in. It felt like a constant uphill battle. There was always firefighting, and we were hardly making any money. I could see competitors who started later, who became more successful, who grew faster. And soon, they outperformed me. And they made the impression on me as if they were doing it with much more ease and flair. And I didn't have any formal business education. I'm a mathematician myself, started my company out of the dorm. And, I realized that before that, I actually thought if I only had a good business model, I will be successful in business. But then I realized everybody actually in my industry had the same business model. And the only difference between the industries on the first side was the entrepreneur himself. And I realized there was something missing in my entrepreneurial personality, because business was apparently not only about the processes, about what you do and how you do it, but it has a lot to do with the personality of the entrepreneur himself. And I realized there was something missing in me, and I started reading all these books about millionaire thinking, about business, going to the self-development conferences, and also to the conferences on millionaire thinking. And I found myself soon in a conference where people were jumping around, high-fiving each other and shouting to each other, "You've got a millionaire mind." And it somehow didn't resonate with me. I didn't know what it was, but after a while I realized, well, of course I have a millionaire mind. I have created a multi-million-dollar company, but it doesn't feel successful. It's not a big deal nowadays. I mean, if you have an apartment in London, you are a millionaire already, but nobody would consider that a business success, a great business performance. And I had to compete against people in my industry who were much better than me. And I realized the millionaire thinking is just not enough for that. If I wanted to compete with them, I had to do better than that. And let's say I want to bring this comparison here, because we are in England, the home of football. If you want to play in the Premier League or in a Champions League, to learn from a third league player is just not enough. It won't bring you there. You would like to learn from a world champion. And I ask myself, who are the world champions in business? Who are the best people in business I could learn from that would give me then the knowledge, the skills, maybe also the thinking that I need to be able to sustain, to compete in my industry? And there is, if you are in business, there is one objective measure of success in business, and this is called net worth. Net worth is the value you have created throughout your business career. So the best entrepreneurs in the world are at the same time the wealthiest people in the world. To be precise, I mean, we are not talking only about money here. The wealthiest people in the world, we call them billionaires. And billionaires create great companies. They create huge value. And I think every entrepreneur should learn from these people because they are world champions in their industries. And millionaires, if you look, in comparison to that, millionaires, they are rather mediocre performance in business. And I'd rather had, in that situation, I'd rather had a billionaire mind. So this was my thinking throughout that conference. And I came up with the idea to learn from the very best entrepreneurs in the world, to travel the world, to meet and interview self-made billionaires, and then publish the methods of their thinking, the secrets of their success. In a book, in this book. A great vision, would you say? But there is one hitch. Nobody has ever done anything like this before. Nobody has ever tried to. Why? Because the venture seems impossible to complete. Let's look at the stats. Billionaires are an extremely rare breed. Only 1 in 5 million people, on average, in the world is a billionaire. That means that the probability of meeting a billionaire by chance is comparable with winning the main pot in the national lottery. For that book, I needed to interview at least 20 of self-made billionaires, which I did. But do you know anybody who won the main pot in the national lottery 20 times? Common sense tells us this is impossible. And I have to tell you, it is impossible. If not for the 80 people that were involved in that project and that I want to honor today, and I will do it in a minute, I didn't realize at the beginning how much time, effort, and money it will take to make this vision a reality. This vision to put together the thinking patterns of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world. This journey took me several times around the globe and let me see behind walls that are usually or normally inaccessible. All the participants in this project are self-made billionaires. But I want to stress here, this is not about money. It's about the phenomenal business performance that enabled them to build these great companies, these outstanding companies, and create this massive value. In fact, many of the participants in this book, many of the billionaires, they live unpretentious lives. In contrast to the shiny images that you may know from the media. And they are real life people like you and me, who started in most adverse conditions that you wouldn't like to be in yourself. I want to quote here or to name here, for example, Lirio Parisotto, who was born in a village with no electricity, no running water, there was no radio, no contact to outer world, not even a paved road. And he achieved so much in business. Another example who is with us today is Menestul, who was born in a refugee camp. And look where he is today, what he achieved. And by the way, Lirio had 11 siblings, so it was a big family. And they truly weren't blessed with the best outset. Yet, thanks to certain mental principles, they made the best out of it and achieved unbelievable success. They did it on a scale that only very few people in the world managed to accomplish today. And they did it, which is also important, while preserving high ethics standards and bringing massive value to the society, and both through the means of the businesses, but also through the philanthropic organizations that they create. And this book answers the question, how is it that some people during a single lifespan manage to build empires and create billions of dollars in value, and they do it despite seemingly hopeless beginnings, while others live regular lives and don't accomplish anything remarkable, even if they are born in the best conditions. What is the secret of billionaires' phenomenal business success? What differentiates them from everybody else in business? In this book, self-made billionaires themselves answer these questions. The $1 Billion Secret offers the inner view of the minds. You can look at the world, so to say, from the perspective of a billionaire. You look into their minds, their hearts, their souls, and this book gives you a roadmap to follow their path to extreme success. And maybe the best introduction will be given by Jack Canfield, who wrote a foreword for this book. Jack, maybe you know Jack Canfield as a great motivational speaker and author, but he is also the most successful non-fiction author in history. He has sold 500 million book copies, 500 million book copies. Unfortunately, he can't be with us today, but he recorded a video message that I want to share with you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jack Canfield. You may know me as the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, also the co-author of the Success Principles, and a featured teacher in the movie The Secret. I just want to take a few minutes and talk to you about a book that I think will change your life. The book is called Billionaire Secret, and it's by Rafael Badziag, who has done an amazing job of going around the world and getting access to, first and then interviewing 21 of the world's most successful self-made billionaires. People that started with nothing, many of them living in shacks where they literally sat on the floor and slept on the floor, and have gone on to be some of the richest people in the world. There have been 15 people that have won the World Entrepreneurial Award, and 8 of those people are in the book, which is extraordinary. And the book is filled with principles and stories and quotes that make it clear that anybody, if they're willing to do the work, live by the principles, be disciplined, which was one of the main things that Rafael discovered about all these billionaires, is they were extremely disciplined. If you're willing to do that, you too, I don't care where you're starting from, can become a billionaire. You know, Rafael talks in the book about how today, you know, millionaires are a lot more common, but to become a billionaire is really quite a feat. And so for him to have access to all these people and be able to capture the essence of what it takes to become a billionaire and prove to you and me and everyone else that it's possible in today's world, especially now with the technology we have and the internet and all of that, to build a business, a franchise operation, a net worth, and be able to be not only successful, but also to be philanthropically impactful around the world is really inspiring. So I want to encourage you to read this book. It's now one of the top 5 self-help books that's ever been written in the world, and it can help you go from where you are to where you want to be. So make sure you get the book, The Billionaire Secret.
Well, he misspelled the name of the book, but other than that, okay. As I said before, as I mentioned before, this unique project wouldn't be possible without the effort and vision of roughly 80 people, I would say, around the world. And some of them are with us today, and I want to honor them today.